Touch New Zealand's coverage of the Northern IPS is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse and One Foundation.
Between Turanga Nui, Kiwa and Bay of Plenty Gold under 14 girls. We have with us on the mic, people know him around the touch area, around the music scene, around any scene. Welcome to the mic, Pat Spellman.
Kia ora, brother, how are you?
Great,
well?
great day here. Beautiful sunshine, bit of wind down on ground level, but looking forward to the next game we are live streaming today.
Yes, so just a bit of a drop-off situation happening with the previous game before we can get into tip-off for our Turanga versus Bay of Plenty Gold under 14 girls fixture here at the Rotorua International Stadium. But like you said, Tāhua Tēnei, she's a gorgeous day today in Rotorua. And yeah, she's been humming all weekend actually, to be fair. It sort of comes and goes. She's hot and then the wind comes and then she's hot again. So playing with my emotions, Bay of Plenty weather, but it's all good. It's all love.
If you've just come in, we're being treated with a drop-off stage here between... Are we in drop-off series? Yeah. Waikato and County. So we're down to 3-on-3. If you're unfamiliar to what a drop-off scenario is, it's mean that after every 2 minutes, a player from each team is sent off field. Not sent off field, is asked to leave the field until the numbers on each team just gets down to 3 each. So this is what we've got in front of us. The field size does not change, so everything is as it was at the beginning of the game. But now we've got into the final 3.
Yeah, Mike, I've been down on field side there, and it's been a great game and a great battle here between the counties and Waikato under 14 girls. It's a very good battle here. No one wants to give an inch, and it's come down to equal points at full time in the drop-off. So the winner of this will go through to the grand final of the under 14 girls. So 3 apiece is the score. The game restarted with 5, and now we're down to the final 3 players. They can sub as they choose, but look how big the field is. As a defender, you don't want to be in this predicament, especially on the 5-metre line. Here we go, 5th and final touch. Waikato with one more chance, one more throw of the dice to try and get something from nothing. Nice little step back and a dive. No touch there, man's up, feeds off. I'll let you call this one, Mikey.
Referee sees nothing but ball down, and that's touchdown Waikato.
Oh, goodness me.
The elation on one team, the disappointment on the other, but there's nothing to be overall disappointed about from both teams. Great effort and a fantastic comeback from the county's girls, who were down 3-1 for quite a stint there, who made their way back to get themselves into a drop-off position.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of there, county's girls, but he piko he taniwha, Waikato coming away with that one after the drop-off series, so a big congratulations to them. We'll see them in the grand final a little bit later on this afternoon. For now, though, as we sort of way closer to tap off for our game, our live stream game here between Turanga Nui Kiwa and the Bay of Plenty Gold.
So looking forward to the next round, under 14 girls. Yes, as you said, Pat, nothing to be ashamed of there. Great effort by both teams, by both coaching staff. And at the end of the day, they were just, I think they should be proud of their efforts. We're definitely proud of both teams for putting on a great display of touch. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Invaluable experience that these girls from both teams will take away with them, and something to put in in the back of their minds as they start to progress through their touch playing career. It's these sorts of times that they can always go back to and realise what it is to dig deep.
Absolutely. This game between Turanga Nui Kiwa and Bay of Plenty Gold will be officiated by some very good referees here, especially the lead referee, one of the leading females out of counties, Monaco Touch Association's referee contingent. She's young, but I'll tell you what she lacks in size, she makes up in mana. Caitlin Kimpton, our lead referee, she'll be supported by Tennille Monk and Kyan Williams. They'll be looking after officiating duties this morning rather. Some of these players in these grades are no stranger to high pressure representative fixtures, so they'll be looking to continue on what is already at 14 or under 14 grades, quite an impressive, I suppose, playing resume. Bay of Plenty Gold looking to continue the momentum from the under 14 boys and looking to bring that W. This though Turanga Nui Kiwa, as we see now the players' names as we get into the nitty-gritty before tap-off.
You can just see on your screen, Pat, that it's just a little bit of wind down there on grass level.
Yeah, she's pretty windy, is what I mentioned earlier. The sun shows up, gets us all hot, and then, Tawhiri Matia decides he's going to bless us with a bit of wind to cool us down, but don't you worry, that sun will be back again, and luckily we're all slapped and wrapped up. We're ready for another hot game of touch footy here in Rotorua as we check out the Bay of Plenty Gold team list there before tap-off here at the International Stadium.
So on the main stadium side, we have Turanga Nui Kiwa on the subbing box. And on the far side, directly in front of us, the commentary box here, we have the Bay of Plenty under 14 girls. So from the scoreboard, looking across the field, we've got Turanga Nui Kiwa on the left and Bay of Plenty on the right. So we'll definitely be able to very quickly see their main playmakers from both teams. They generally circle around the ball as the game progresses. We've got Bay of Plenty in a huddle. Final words from both players and the coach. Final instructions. Most of the work's done. It's really just that last piece about understanding what they want to play as they're starting off with the ball. So just getting their starter move just cemented in their minds as the girls go out. Another exciting time in front of us. It's great to have our viewers from live stream. Welcome. Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. And here we go. Direct through the field comes Bay of Plenty, and that's Cook. Cook with the ball dummy half. Bay of Plenty getting themselves organised out to the wing, using the length of the field. It's always good to get an early touch, especially if you're a player not wanting to stand there and just run up and down the field. Nice defence by Turanga Nui Kiwa.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag in terms of performance for the Bay of Plenty Gold girls. They've got a win and they draw a couple of losses there. Turanga Nui Kiwa, they'll be looking for their first win of the tournament this morning. And like I said, so that win's still there, although it's died down a wee bit. Like I said, Michael, that sun, she's back out and she's hot again.
Just like that run down the sideline. Beautiful. Turanga Nui just showing, opening up the space there and finding a bit of gap down on the left-hand side. And here we go. Making themselves come through the middle of the field now. Finding some space. It's a handover. See the Bay Off to their subbing box, getting a fresh pair of legs on. Players circle around the back, making themselves available to the dummy half. A handover. Both teams just finding their feet at the moment. It's dealing with the conditions of the wind and just getting those few touches as they find their range and their passes, and just getting their game plan just right as you start to get the legs and arms moving again. Just testing each other out, getting a feel for the game and a flow out to the wing. Ball to ground, unfortunately. So overall, we've got some good coverage. We've had some good coverage yesterday through the live stream. And we've got about 4 more games that were shown today. Any feedback that you've got from the airways, Pat, around first venture into IPS for live streaming?
Well, like you said, first time that we've live streamed some of our rangatahi in the IPS format. So lots of obviously very excited parents, excited whānau members seeing their kids represent their province in the first hit out of the year. Fairly positive online, very encouraging. So keep that feedback coming in.
Looking just the big ups to the teams playing yesterday. I was in camp with one of our New Zealand squads and up in Auckland, and during the morning break, all the boys were around the TV screen watching the live stream. So you've got your elite players around the country watching the next level come through. I think the thing to also remember here, there's an opportunity, especially for the girls' game, of seeing some of these girls potentially in our pathways and high performance program coming up to the, if it's not the next after this one, could be in the next few years. We'll see some of these players running around in a black singlet.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I said, this isn't the first hit out for some of these players where the pressure's been high and they've adorned the strip of their province. So very much so looking forward to watching them grow and develop in the game. There's some future touch blacks out there, that's for sure.
We got a bit of toe, bit of speed out on those wings. It's great to see, and they're using that. Ball through hand. It's a handover. So at the moment, first touch for Bay as they make their way through. Nice timing. As they get themselves centered back here, finding the space. There's a gap through. Dummy half finds the link, and that's a touchdown. Turanga Nui Kiwa just getting caught out, just backpedaling on that one.
Let's check out the Bunnings replay and relive the magic here at the Northern IPS. Here we go.
So we've got number 10 for the Bay. Charlize Bryce finding the space, using her speed, and then connecting up with the link. And that takes the Bay of Plenty Gold 1, Turanga Nui Kiwa 0.
Oh, Charlize, she's been playing touch for 6 years, so she's showing some of that experience out there on the pitch this morning.
Although we've got, young players here, but as you say, Pat, they've clocked up a number of years on the touch scene.
Yeah, it's the beauty of touch. She played from obviously very young age. We've got under 10s grade here at IPS this weekend, so.
But Plenty just coming out of their subbing box. Incorrect roll the ball. a handover. Just getting themselves tied up there, Turanga. Oh, great long balls though. It's a line ball, they'd probably call in rugby league. But here we go. Unfortunately, just a few things to tidy up in the close range game. They come off their line, coming through the field near the 10-metre line. Back across their subbing box. New set of players make their way onto the field, and just as they come to the centre, just a few, just little errors creeping into both teams, as they're still finding their feet, I'm sure. Score still Bay of Plenty 1, Turanga Kiwa 0 so far, but we're still early in the game. For those new to Touch, or this is your first time watching the live stream, we've got one of our resident experts and a long-time Touch master, George Yonke. George, you just want to give us a little bit basics about Touch.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. As you'll see out there, there's some great skills on show, but it always comes back to the foundation rules of it. It starts off with 6 aside, and it's on a field measuring 70 metres by 50. For those in the touch scenes, you'll notice that in the rugby scenes, that's half a rugby field. So you get 2 touch fields on a rugby field, but half the players, and a bit less. So 6 on 6, you get 6 touches with the ball. And as you see on the screen there, when you go from dummy half, the person that picks up the ball, they're not allowed to be touched. They must pass off for someone else to score, or they cannot be touched. Otherwise, it's a handover to the other team. When it's a handover, it's played with a roll ball, which is a placement, or we like to call it a plant these days, because you don't like to do the rolling of the ball because it's too hard to pick up, and passing off to somebody else to go forward. You want to get down to the other end of the field with the least possible amount of errors and the most direction going forward, so you get down to the 5 metre to pull out the action plays there. If you do a forward pass, it's a handover to the other team, so passes must be sideways or backwards from the hand. Sometimes the wind blows it forwards and the referee allows that to go on because it did leave the hands going backwards. If some people get frustrated and see the ball going forward, that is the call half the time in some of the situations in the big games. Anything else, Mike, you can think of that I've missed there on the top of my head?
No, but I was just probably recalling for some players who have maybe just recently come back into the game of touch, and you still thought it was 7 players, and I do believe there was a time where you could throw it forward, George. Is that correct?
Yeah, that will be correct. One World Cup back in the very beginning days. Peter Walters could tell you a few stories about that. Or Wally Rifle, the legend himself. I remember seeing a video footage of that game with their sporting those mustaches, and as you see, Walters is legendary for it. Wally Rifle shaved his one off. But, to compensate for the Americans that played at the World Cup with their NFL styles, they're allowed to chuck it forward for 1 play. And I think that was 1 play on the wing there where it went forward. And I think the referees caught that one, so no touchdown there. Turanga Kiwa gets a penalty. So like I said, it's a penalty if it's a forward pass.
Let's give big efforts to the girls who brought back a bit of old school with their forward pass, but unfortunately 2019, we can't count that anymore.
And you did say it was 7 aside. They've made it a bit more specialised, so you've got to cover a lot more field now with 6 on 6. Always hard to defend. And the difference between this and 7s is obviously a tackle, but in 7s you can pass the ball long, it can bounce off the ground, and you can then retrieve it. But in touch, it must stay off the ground to maintain possession. Only when you're playing the ball it can touch the ground.
So you talk about some of that passing, Georgie. We've seen some good passing on display here. Great set of speed there.
That's beautiful to see. I'll hand it back over to you and Pat. calling the game, and I saw some great skills out there. Let you guys take the show here.
As we check out the Bunnings replay. Yeah, nothing flash about that. It's just straight touch plus down equals a point on the board, friends.
Great speed by Campbell Ratapu, making her way, finding the gap, and then finding her winger. That's nothing but class from Turanganui. So that brings the score Turanganui 1, Bay of Plenty Gold 1. Touch count 2 for Bay. They make their way direct through the field, finding themselves back on the 5. Nice 32. Ooh. Ref calls that. Finding the space. Possibly Turanganui Kiwa defenders were behind the line when the player went low and scored that. So well done. That's a type of reply that you want to see as a coach, which takes you to 2 Bay of Plenty Girls Gold, 2 Turanganui 1, and we've got half time here.
Well, there's a mixed bag of touch footy there in our under-14s girls fixture between Turanganui Akiwa and the Bay of Plenty Gold. Let's go back to Georgie. Georgie, what's some of the standout plays from the first half of this fixture, my friend?
We talk about it quite often in these games, and the team that's more direct and punching well usually gets the more meterage and gets them down the right end of the field. And as you see in that last play, Bay of Plenty were just too sharp on the ball. So as soon as the ball hit the ground, a player was there punching the line and catching Turanga Kiwa offside to get through for that touchdown. But let's not take nothing away from Turanga Kiwa. It's great to have these girls playing in their first time IPS here in Rotorua. But you can see the natural flair and skill they have. They're quite isolated in the Gisborne region because it's too far either side to try and get some stiff competition there. But you can see the 7 skills there. I've been up there to work with a few coaches, and the natural talent is amazing. You saw a lot of long balls being thrown by the girls. Great vision, beautiful. And you see that play through there where they chucked a long ball. It's great to see, and when they get a bit of touch now that they're back in the game and these girls are doubling off or tripling off in sport, maybe quadrupling. I know Waka Arm is a strong one up there as well, but they're loving the touch, and it's also coinciding with their 7 skills and their 7 futures.
That brings it all to light now, Georgie. Some of that free ball playing, finding that space. And now I know why, because of your influence, obviously, along with the great coaching and volunteer and community staff they have up in Turanganui Kiwa, the whole whānau and community up there driving touch. And like you said, it's great to have them back.
As I get the words of wisdom from their coaches, Mike, what's the Bay of Plenty Gold team being told right now after the first half of footy?
Look, overall, I think they should be pretty pleased with how they've been going through the field. And, you know, the one defensive lapse they had here was really just sort of picking up in players. As the coach, I suppose what you want to be saying is, you know, let's keep to our structures, let's keep to our processes, trust what we're doing, get ourselves to the line, and then find those opportunities. It's quite as, you know, the key here is not to overcomplicate the thing. Keep it simple, keep it clear and concise, and give players, you know, the role. So I'm sure both coaches would have that as an instruction. I'm just hoping my touch black coaches heard me say all that as well. So let's make sure that it's an overall program. These things happen at all levels of the game.
All right. Not too far away now from tap off for the second half of this footy's fixture as a part of the Bunnings Northern IPS Tri-Series here in Rotorua.
It's been a good game by the referees as well too, Pat.
Yes, no, Caitlin Kipton showing why she's the lead referee in this fixture. She's a level 3 international referee. Watching her float in places like Samoa and Australia. She's one of County's finest as we get back into this game between Turanganui Kiwa and the Bay of Plenty Gold under-14 girls.
So for first-time viewers, Pat, I really liked how you said that. So Catlin's a level 3. So what does that mean in terms of our first-time viewers around the referee levels?
Oh, so basically you've got tiers. So much like the players and their development opportunities to, work their way up the grades and into representative duties, our referees are also coached and developed, and they start off as sort of TMRC, which is your entry level kind of referee position, and then slowly through upskilling and courses and applying their trade on different tournaments like we see here, they become better and more sort of astute with the rules of the game and how they control the game. And our very experienced panel of referees, international recognised referees with many years of experience, help them and coach them and guide them, and then they eventually get to the black badge, which is your level 4. We've got a very I suppose, fine history of our black badge referees. In fact, we've got the #1 referee in the world, who's a New Zealander, a Kiwi, Maya Williams.
And here we go. Through that commentary, we've got Bay of Plenty replying, finding that space here again. Charlie's Bryce. Again, picking the ball, finding the hole, making her way, making use of her speed and skills, connecting with her player, and that brings, that takes Bay of Plenty gold to 3, Turanga Nui a Kiwa 1. It's a type of reply that you would want as a coach, coming early in the second half. So great work by the Bay, finding their way to the 5 and making a mark.
And Mike, something that we've been obviously emphasising over the last couple of days here in Rotorua, but also it's one of our proud aspects of what we do with the Sport of Touch is the introduction of the AWHI program, the AWHI Kaupapa, which is essentially a promise and a program that we're hoping to roll out over the provinces up and down the country. You see the touchdown there. This game just isn't stopping. It's point for point. Stop it. She thinks, no, don't need the head. I'm going to score anyway. Touchdown again. As we saw there on the Bunnings replay. We've got Monty Collins in the booth with us, who's our community projects manager, also looks after the AWHI Kaupapa. Monty, if you could just maybe share some of the AWHI moments that you've had over the last couple of days, and tell us a little bit about the Kaupapa.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. From the AWHI perspective, what we are trying to really do is just accentuate the positive side of the sport, and also trying to engage our parents and our coaches and our managers and our players in a competitive but positive spirit. So pretty much what we've been doing over the course of today and yesterday is just engaging with the public, mums and dads, and also celebrating some of the real positive stuff that we've been watching. So, for example, this morning we presented to young Hanare from Titai Tukara a positive sportsmanship award that was actually acknowledged by a parent from a totally different union and watching a totally different game, but she was just impressed with how he carried himself on the field. And that's the sort of thing that we're trying to do with AWHI is bring out the positive in everything and in everyone.
So, Moni, AWHI, what I understand that stands for?
Yeah, so AWHI at grassroots level, obviously a positive Māori word, which means love and support for us, but we've also got the acronym of attitude, whānau, harmony and integrity. And we think that those are 4 major pillars in sport as well as in life itself. So what we're trying to do is promote at this particular tournament these young players in their development to be good sports people but also good people.
Awesome. Thank you, Moni Collins. Beautiful voice. Matches that face of his.
I was going to say an even more beautiful face.
Here we go. Bay of Plenty making their way through the field. Finding, the link, swerving, able to get away from her player, just unable to connect up with their winger. Unfortunate, but a good play. Here we go. Turanga Nui making them their way up the grandstand side of the field. Just starting to just to get a little bit heavy in the legs. Maybe the second half is starting to take its toll. But I'm sure they've got big fight in them. Here we go.
All right.
George. We saw. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Answer back from the Bay. Referee called touch on the 5. Let's see what the Bay can come up with this time. Holding off. Forward pass called. Let's see if Turanga can go back to their game. Oh, unfortunately, it's a forward pass by both sides. Fatigue possibly kicking in there, so let's see if they can find another gear, Turanga Kiwa, and just go back to how they were playing in that first half, doing some great things. Let's see if they can hold them out on the line this time. Here we go. Bay getting themselves ready, setting themselves up. What can they come up? What strike play? So at middle and link, just communicating there. Just looking for a quickie play. Having another go. It's a referee called Turanga player not onside, not both feet behind the scoreline is what the referee wanted. So she's given a penalty. Go 32 Peel. Straight through. Nice touch. Good defence along on the line by Turanga.
Good to have Mark and Amanda Jones watching from Australia via the live stream. Kia ora, guys.
.33 Peel. Did they find the space this time? Referee agrees with me, says yes. Coach is happy, the players are happy.
Let's check out the Bunnings replay now to relive the try lights. Yeah, just too easy.
It's a nice 33 Peel.
It's a Kiana Thrup Pivek.
Really showing, I suppose, with experience here. They have plenty, really crisp with their policies and processes, coming through the field, understanding what they need to do on attack. So this is a team, and here we go. Pure speed shown on the outside there.
Like a hot knife through butter.
They have plenty. Number 6, Tyler Burton.
Yeah, she's been playing 8 years. Derek Rose is her favourite sports person, and she's also a sevens player, plays basketball. And just like there, showing some fine form and touch footy, was actually selected in the top 10 out of 120 of New Zealand's best ballers as well. So, yeah, she's not too flash indeed. Tyler Burton for our Plenty.
I think if her favourite player is Derek Rose, I think she could show Derek a few things on that speed. He might need to up his game on that fast break. Here we go, border ground. Turanga just forcing things at the moment, but again, they have plenty well drilled. Players across the board understanding their policies, understanding what they need to do. Running into each other. I don't think that's one of the policies.
Generous though to share the ball with the ground as we continue this under 14s fixture here in Rotorua.
Papatuanuku playing a role here. Here we go. Let's see what Turanga Nui can come up with this time. Beautiful long ball, finding the winger. Referee agrees. And there's the celebration. Well deserved, girls.
Let's check out the Bunnings replay now. That long ball almost as impressive as chop suey on rice. Look at that. Oh.
Well done.
Thrown by Jayla Red and caught by Adelaide Walker Corminet. It's her first season too. Very impressive.
They're not here to be rolled over, as Turanga Nui. Got a proud history. Beautiful region. Beautiful part of our country.
Beautiful Kaimoana.
I'll just have the salad things. Here we go. Middle link. Linked in for a dive. What's the referee calling? Ball to ground. Here we go. Coming through the field is Turanga Nui Kiwa. For those who are just tuning in now, Bay of Plenty Gold, under 14 girls 6. Turanga Nui Kiwa 2.
Yeah, just minutes left on the clock here, and well, some hot temperatures. You wouldn't, speaking of Kaimoana, wouldn't want to leave the kidder out in the sun. She's a scorcher. But these girls showing good endurance and perseverance to play in these hot conditions. That pitch didn't look too soft either, so be a bit of hard underfoot, as they say in the commentary team.
When you've got a young team like this coming from Turanga Nui, one of the key things going forward, actually for the region, is to try and keep these players together. You know, bit of mileage on the touch field, and that mileage comes with good understanding and the ability to really understand your processes going forward in the game. So 33 Peel coming through. Again, this is a 32 Peel. They're getting a good strike play off both the 33 and 32.
Let's check out their Bunnings replay now here at Rotorua. Running away with it now are the Bay of Plenty team. Well, not running far, they live here, but that's a touchdown. And that's full time, I do believe. Oh, the comeback was, not too flash, but they gave it their all anyway. Turanga Nui Kiwa falling to the brute of the Bay. The Bay of Plenty under 14 girls managed to, quite comfortably take that one away. Mike?
Ka pai ora. And thank you, viewers from both Bay and Turanga Nui Kiwa. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed our game 2 of the second day of the 2019 Bunnings Northern Junior IPS.
Touch New Zealand's coverage of the Northern IPS is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse and One Foundation.